Gangsta's Paradise. A little Coolio action. I don't know what Brendan's thinking. A song with the word paradise in it. I think he may have Vacation on the mind. I hear that's coming up. Paradise City, where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Paradise. Paradise. Coldplay. Various songs with the word paradise in them, and I don't know why you'd even play one because the Blazers are far from paradise right now. A series that could very, very well be 3-1 in their favor is 3-1 in favor of San Antonio. And we're going to talk about it right now. Welcome in to Courtside Monday. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you'd like to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You could also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, join the chat there. And last but not least, hit us up on the text line 88528. And as I said, it could very easily been us sitting here on a Monday talking about the realistic probability of the Blazers having to win one of the next 3 games to advance to the next round of the playoffs. Instead, we're all wondering if tomorrow is going to be the last game of the season. The Blazers came home to Moda Center with a 1-1 series split in San Antonio, hoping that the home cooking and the first real home game in 7 seasons in the playoffs was going to be what could get them over the hump. Yes, they had games in, 2021, but that didn't count. That was a limited capacity arena. Everyone was masked up. Sections of the stadium were tarped off. You had the bubble run in 2020. Prior to that, the last time Moda Center was packed for the playoffs was 2019. The highly improbable and miraculous run to the Western Conference Finals. The bad shot over Paul George to sink OKC. Rodney Fresh Legs Hood in 4 overtimes. CJ McCollum. Late game heroics in Denver get you past the Nuggets, and then you meet up with the buzzsaw that was the Golden State Warriors. That was the last time. Packed houses inside Moda for a playoff game. So you come home looking to grab a victory in Game 3 and hopefully Game 4, and things looked like that might be the case. In Game 3, late in that game, late in the third quarter, Portland leads 82-67, a 15-point lead. All you gotta do is hold on. They didn't hold on. Spoiler alert. They lost that game 120-108. San Antonio put together a massive run from the end of the third into the fourth, clamped down on defense, outscored the Blazers 32-21 in the fourth quarter. And they got a victory. A victory in which Victor Wembanyama didn't even play. He was in concussion protocol. Got to win those minutes when Vic isn't on the floor. Blazers didn't win those minutes in that one. The struggle, it was real. All right, focus to Game 4. We'll survive. We'll be okay. Victor Wembanyama still in protocol. What happened? He's dealing with the headaches. He's dealing with everything that comes with having a concussion. No fun. Will he play? Won't he play? Well, then right before tip, you get notification that he will indeed play. Uh-oh. One of the best players in the planet is available. Got to adjust. Got to come out swinging. Got to hit him hard right off the jump. And the Blazers did. They listened. They came out. They were on fire. They were locked in. First quarter, they outscored the Spurs 25-23. But then in the second, boy, howdy, did the offense get going. They were 11 of 19 from the floor, 5 of 8 from beyond the arc, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Outscored the Spurs in the quarter 33-18 to take a 17-point lead into the halftime locker room. Biggest lead of the night for your Blazers was 19 when they led 58-39. That was right before the Spurs hit a jump shot to make it 58-41 heading into the locker room. So what you got to do is hold on for one more day. Well, instead, San Antonio turned around and waved goodbye to the Blazers. The second half may have been the worst second half of the season. The Spurs outscored the Trailblazers. Clear my throat. 73-35 in the second half. They scored 40 points in the fourth quarter. That means San Antonio scored 5 more points in the fourth quarter than the Trailblazers did in the entirety of the second half. They trailed by as many as 19, and then they came and they won 114-93. Biggest lead of the night for San Antonio, that 21-point lead at the end of the game. First time for the Spurs in their playoff history that they trailed the game by 15 or more, only to come back and win by 15 or more. For the Blazers, they showed a graphic up on that screen that they were 13-0, I believe it was, in playoff games where they led by 16 or more at halftime. Well, that one can go out the window. An epic meltdown, an epic failure. And the Spurs grabbed 2 games in Portland that Portland very well could have put into their back pocket and head back down to the Alamo in control of the series. Instead, as we mentioned, the Blazers are looking at this series going, okay, big game tomorrow. Let's try to do our best to make sure it's not the last one of the season. Now, Jason, the Blazers are Old Yeller at this point. Time to go get the firearm. That's pretty bad.
I don't know if I love that analogy, Chris.
I don't know why. Now, all I want to do right now is cry because that book makes me sad, which is why I've tried to make my child read it, because you know what? You got to have some emotions, kid. I need you to read Old Yeller, and then when you're done with Old Yeller, I need you to read Where the Red Fern Grows. Old heads like us know. Those Brendan's like, they didn't make us read those old people books back in my day.
Old Yeller, absolute classic. The other one that you mentioned, probably, or what was the other one you mentioned?
Where the Red Fern Grows.
I remember it, but definitely can say I never read it. But I mean, I don't love the analogy, Chris, but I get it, because the first thing I told you when you came in here, first thing I told Chad doing when he called me last night, he was like, we were checking in on some things. I'm like, I feel like somebody, Chris, like I'm a 5-year-old at a Blazer game, and a San Antonio Spur, a specific 7'4" alien, popped my balloon, and now I don't have a balloon to go home with it. Like, how quickly things change from like Friday afternoon to where we are now on Monday. It stinks. It's not where we want to be, but that old saying, Chris, be glad it happened, perhaps.
Yes, yes. Now, joking aside here, we could talk about this team with a little bit of perspective, okay? They aren't Old Yeller. They don't need to be taken care of. They are playing with house money. This is what I've talked about on game day in the 5th quarter. Perspective for a second, please. We can be critical of the game and be a little upset that they went from the possibility of a 3-1 lead to be trailing 3-1 instead. But a team that, A, not a lot of people had in the play-in, B, a lot of people thought was going to be a lottery team and wanted them to be a lottery team. 3, somehow got through the play-in. And D, here they are with a playoff victory. That's right. I said A, B, 3D. Isn't that what Buzz does in Home Alone? I think Nelson makes a reference to that in The Simpsons, too. I was trying to do that. Now, we do have, I got to put on my glasses, ML Miles. Hello, Spurs fan here. Well, hello, Spurs fan. Good on you. Go Spurs, go, right? The Spurs, as I've talked about, are an incredible team. Even when people get mad, they lost a game without Victor Wembanyama. Without Victor Wembanyama, they have a great roster. Stephon Castle's great. Devin Vassell is great. Obviously, old man Harrison Barnes knows what to do. They have guys who can go out there and get it done. And I talked to Chad about this. Guys like Keldon Johnson. They're a physical team who will play on both sides. They are built for the playoffs. The Blazers are built for learning, and they will learn. But again, this was a team that was not supposed to be here. Not a lot of people predicted they would, and not a lot of people predicted they would win a playoff game. So to go do that in San Antonio is a big win. But if anything, what this series is showing you more so than anything, and this is why there is value in the playoffs, it's showing you exactly what you need. It is showing you exactly what you need. It is showing guys like Donovan Klinging exactly what they need to do to get better and be ready for the playoffs. It is showing Denny Avdia what he needs to do to get better and be ready for the playoffs. It is showing Joe Cronin and Dundon that they need more shooters and athletes around these guys and guys who can truly play both sides of the ball. Now you get to go hit the offseason with a true idea of what you need to be successful and how to put those pieces around what you believe to be your core, whatever that core is. Like last night was the weird damned if you do, damned if you don't situation because the Blazers needed offense. Well, how come Shaedon Sharpe isn't on the floor? He only played a handful of minutes because Shaedon Sharpe was getting cooked on defense. But at the same time, during that second half, everybody was. But you saw the play making the rounds on social media, clear as day. Tiago Splitter telling Shaedon Sharpe that the pick is coming. They're going to set it up so that Victor Wembanyama can run around it and get to the lane. You got to switch. Who did not switch and let Victor Wembanyama get right to the basket? Shaedon Sharpe. And then he was quickly subbed out after that. Coach had him in the right spots. Execution was poor. But again, this is why I wanted to go team playoff, and I did not like to listen to team tank. There's so much value in what this team is doing right now. Now, you cannot waste it. If you do not learn from it and you do not make changes and you roll out the same exact thing next year, hoping for a different result, you haven't learned much. Even the best teams in the world, and the dynasties, they make changes here and there until they figure it out. Yeah, Mark Jackson wasn't getting it done. Let's bring in Steve Kerr. Okay? Oh, well, not that we really need him, but we can go get Kevin Durant because even though we're really good, we can go get better. Now the Blazers have to make those moves. It's the hard thing about that is how you move off of some of those pieces in the long run. Is it a Jeremy Grant? Has Scoot Henderson solidified his future with the Blazers? I would have said yes through 3 games, but then he looked real bad in game 4. Still a lot of questions. But I'm not letting the fact that the team is down 3-1 dampen my spirits here, people. What I am letting dampen my spirits is that terrible phone call I had right before I got on the show that I have, about a $4,000 bill that I now owe the mechanic because I broke down on the side of the road today and Brendan wasn't even there to pick me up, which is funny because, see, I have replaced Brendan because now I have AAA. I called AAA instead of having to call the BS, even though I was calling BS on everything that the world was handing me. Like, that has me down. This Blazer game does not. This Blazer playoff series does not. What does have me down, Brendan, as you're laughing, and you made a great point here. You mentioned Victor Wembanyama and the alien being like you're a little kid at the fair and there's some punk bully comes over and pops your balloon. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. There ain't any amount of shave ice or ice cream or deep fried Oreo goodness that can make the little kid feel better about his little balloon being popped.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's multiple levels to it, Chris. A couple other quick things I wanted to say just to get back to you is, one, there's no shame in losing to Wemby. A whole bunch of the NBA hasn't figured it out. I was working the Spurs radio broadcast. They interviewed Devin Vassell after the game. He's like, it's really easy when the best player in the world comes back and plays.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll throw that. And then, two, Chris, I got to give Chris the heads up, folks. Back in December, when Chris and I were both working the Spurs game at Moda Center, and I jumped on the 5th quarter with Chris, it was after a close Blazers loss that was a play-in game. It was a big one. And Chris looked at me and he's like, dude, I really like Mitch Johnson, and the Spurs team is really deep. And since then, I learned a little bit more about Mitch Johnson. Shout out his time in Portland. He's a really good coach, and they are really deep. So, again, I don't think there's any shame. It's a good playoff experience, but they won 62 games for a reason, Chris. 100%.
They did. They're really good. Now, Jason says, Jason Tatum doesn't play for the Spurs. What do you mean? I don't know. Who slipped? Did I slip? What? Watch out. Heads up. Get it? Huh. Ooh, wow. What? He's only 19. Best 19-year-old player on the planet, right? Isn't that the joke? But the point is, too, as we joke and have fun here, the seriousness to this, and this is why it's deflating that the balloon got popped, And this is a good thing, my friends. The only reason you're upset is because for the first time in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons or more, you had the E word. Expectation. Expectation. A lot easier to take gut punches when you walk into the ring expecting to lose. But when you walk into a ring expecting to walk out champion and you get it handed to you, you get humbled. It hurts a little bit. Why? Because you walked into the ring with expectation. Fans walked into this series with expectation. It's a fun place to be. It can be a painful place to be, but it's a fun place to be. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Courtside Monday. When we come back, we're going to hear from head coach Thiago Splitter, hear from a couple of the players as well, and we will start to talk about what we can expect in Game 5. And, of course, maybe try to continue to put our feelings into words for you because we will get through this together. Chris Burkhardt here with you on Courtside Monday on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Courtside Monday. Shout out to the YouTube chat where our resident Spurs fan in there. He says it's funny that people are saying that the Spurs are so well constructed because this is the first year in the last 6 years that people have said that. Not if you listen to this show. Not if you listen to this show. Because I've been on that Spurs train for a minute. I thought that when they drafted Carter Bryant, the things they did, I was a big fan of their draft. I was a big fan of the way they have started to build that thing over the years. This is the first year you're just seeing it. And people are starting to point it out to you because they are doing so well in the playoffs. But I have been on this Spurs train, my friend. I have been on it. Front row. Type it in the chat. I've been on this Spurs train. Boom. There you go. Multitasking. Now other people, the casuals, maybe they're on it. But they've drafted well, they played well, and they are built for this success. And sometimes when you build the success, and then it's a matter of putting it together. And they're putting it together right now. So yeah, that's what I like. Now he also mentions Thiago looks like he could still play. I did love when during that little scuffle in the game last night, I was like, oh, Thiago's showing a little get up and go going out there, pushing Denny out of the way. And I will say this. I think Thiago's great. I think Thiago's been wonderful. People in Rip City are starting to turn their back on him a little bit, and I don't get it. I don't. I like Thiago a lot. Sometimes my cough button doesn't work. I apologize. I'm like over here just hitting buttons. Brendan's getting all confused. But I do like Thiago. Why are we get so lost in the sauce sometimes? Oh, it's Thiago's fault that this team can't beat the Spurs. Pump the brakes. Yeah, it's Thiago's fault that the team that had their head coach fired after game one, or not fired, their head coach arrested by the FBI after the first game of the season and had to be thrust from assistant to head coach while learning all that entails, who admitted full on at the beginning of it, I'm still learning a lot because it's different than Europe, whether it's calling the timeouts or challenge, all that stuff. And then gets this team through that, gets them the win over the Golden State, tries to build what they're going through, and then gets them back to the playoffs for the first time in 5 years, 6 years. Here they are playing in the playoffs with an acting head coach who has been so since the second game of the season, and people are mad at him? Bro, he deserves a massive tip of the cap. All those things considered and everything working against him, and the team puts it together, gets into the play-in, gets through the play-in, and then grabs a win against the Spurs? I mean, come on. Well, Sue, also, I'll get to that in a second. But the thing is, I think he's been great. And does he deserve the job moving forward? I think he's done more than enough to deserve it. I have also been on the wagon that I do believe that there should be a full head coaching search. And if they find someone that they believe to be better, they can take it. I don't think they should be doing head coaching interviews or searches while he's still employed. But all things considered, he's been great. I also do think that it's a little bit hard to be the head coach when you are doing all that coaching with the other coaches' assistants. Because since Chauncey Billups has never been officially let go, he's just on hiatus for the moment. And Thiago Splitter was never named head coach. He is still acting head coach, meaning he is acting as head coach in the absence of the actual head coach. He did all that coaching with Chauncey Billups' assistants. Is he a fan of James Posey? Who knows? Does he like St. Andrews? Who knows? What would it look like if he had his guys in there? I like Thiago. Again, this is not me going, oh, look what he did. You guys all know, and my resident Spurs fan will now know since he's watching, who was on the Thiago train the minute they hired him. I said that he was my favorite assistant coaching hire in the Chauncey Billups era. did not expect him to be thrust into the head coaching role the way it happened. A little bit crazy. But I still believe that he deserves the benefit here. And has done wonderfully. Now, Sue mentioned, I heard there was towels on the chairs, but you didn't see one. Lucky for you. Look, I got one right here. Rip City runs deep. This was from Game 4. I like it. The other one were the red ones with the playoff logo. I am outspoken here. I am not carrying water for the owner. People look at me like I'm funny. I am not team t-shirt because I always throw them away. I am team towel. Unless you do it cool, because I do got to say, the Fiesta shirts that San Antonio did where every section was in their Fiesta colors, that was pretty cool. I do got to give that one credit. And nothing beats a good old-fashioned, just like a whiteout like Penn State. That looks great. I don't like. And then San Antonio went from like the coolest t-shirt look to the worst, because then the next game they just went black, and like that just looks so bad. Doesn't look good in person. Doesn't look good on TV. It's like it just gets a loss because it just makes it look like there's just a bunch of chairs. Like even when the Blazers roll out nothing but red, since all the chairs in Moda, well, most of the chairs in Moda are red, it just looks like a bunch of chairs. I like the Fiesta colors though; those are pretty sweet. But now I got the towel. It'll be hung up in my studio. Be a little background love for it. But the joking aside, and we just went and did some Thiago defense, which is totally great. But I do want to take the time to talk about the game and hear from some of these players and Coach Thiago as well. Denny Avdia, one of those players who's been struggling a little bit. Had a good game in Game 4. If you look at the stats, right? 26 points, 7 rebounds, had 3 assists as well. But the defense have definitely been focusing on him. He has been taking a lot of pressure. When he drives to the basket, it is getting all 5 San Antonio defenders basically crashing on him because they're going to dare him to pass the ball out and then dare someone to hit a shot. And guess what? Even if he makes the right play, it's not burning him because no one in a Blazer uniform can make a three-pointer right now. But Denny Avdia has been playing his tail off, and he talked to the media after Game 4.
Again, a tough second half for you guys. What did you see out there? What was what ended up happening in that third quarter?
We just didn't make shots, and they did. Defensively, we weren't. They bumped up their physicality, and it was tough for us to handle that. We weren't ready for that.
Could you lead us through the altercation with Castle from your perspective? How'd that start, and just lead us through what happened, please?
I think he's a good player. I have a lot of respect for him, but the thing at the end, all this shoving the ball into my chest is unnecessary. I don't play those games. It's not who I am. You can be tough, you can be, physical, but there's a level of disrespect that I'm not gonna accept. He's done a lot of provocation. You say provocation, right? He does a lot of provocation throughout the whole game. And I think at one point it was just disrespectful. And as I said, I'm not playing that. That's it.
Denny, what is it about this matchup that's made Rob so effective for you guys?
Sorry again?
What is it about this matchup that's made Rob so effective for you guys, particularly?
I think Rob has been great for us the whole season. I think he's a great player. I think he a great athlete. His mind is at the right spot. He brings his heart out in each and single play. And, I think it's hard to face him when he rolls to the basket. He makes the right play. He's so athletic, and, his defensive presence is very good. And, we love having him.
דני, מדברים הרבה בפלייאוף על התאמות שעושים בין משחקים. אתה יכול לספר קצת איך זה נראה מהצד שלך, מה אתה עושה או מה עשית בין המשחקים כדי להשתפר ממשחק למשחק?
אנחנו בדרך כלל עושים התאמות כקבוצה, כי בסופו של דבר הם עושים התאמות אליי, או אתה יודע, סוג של הגנה. או בשביל להוציא את הכדור מהידיים, או בשביל להיות יותר אגרסיביים איתי, אז אנחנו כקבוצה מתכוננים איך אנחנו אמורים לזוז, ואיפה המסירה הנכונה באותה הגנה, או המהלך הנכון. אבל הרבה מזה זה גם מיינדסט. אני ידעתי שהם יבואו לפוצץ אותי, אני יודע שהם ימשיכו לפוצץ אותי. יש הרבה דברים מאחורי הקלעים שאנשים לא רואים. אני יכול רק להיות יותר אגרסיבי להמשיך לשחק ולהיות בטוח במשחק שלי ובמה שאני עושה ולסמוך על החברים שלי לקבוצה. חוץ מזה אני לא יכול לעשות יותר מדי.
Now, I say to that exactly what I said to Victor in Turkey when he called me last night. That it reminds me of the Tracy Morgan.
He called again?
Oh, he did. He always calls. Now he's back.
Awesome.
He's back on the train.
Dude, that's great. That's great.
But it reminds me of that segment in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back with Tracy Morgan when I don't know what the heck you just said, little man, but you reached out and you touched my heart. And I said this last week too when Tiago had the question in Spanish. I'm like, here I am, barely. I'm struggling to have a grasp on English, and then these guys are in here. Like, how many languages can we ask a question in? And they just flows off the tongue. Like, obviously, he's like, oh, provocation. That's the word you guys use, right? Like, well, wouldn't know that English was your second language if it wasn't like it's amazing to me what these guys could do. I know Spanish well enough to hear a few words. Like I don't know if I'd survive out on the streets because I know how to say like where's the bathroom, but I can't have a conversation and ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Like
certainly. I mean, let me put it this way, Chris. I think I should have paid probably closer attention when I took my 2 years of high school Spanish. Would have been a really good language to have in tow. So there is that. I'll double down with you there.
But no, it's I always just joke because it's an impressive skill to have. But you heard Denny there, and first off, I get what he's saying with the Stephon Castle stuff, but at the same time, I loved it. I mean, this is playoff basketball. And if you're going to try to do those little things and play that mental game and get those guys to bite, I think you absolutely should. And the ball to the chest was, I wouldn't call it egregious. I think it was just enough to poke the bear. Like if he would have hit that bucket and then, done like a full on, like put it in his chest and shoved Denny back, then yeah, that's egregious. But no, he just kind of put the ball in his chest, let him know like, oh, you want the ball? Here it is. And like that's just part of the gamesmanship of it. Like again, just enough to poke the bear and let's play that mental game. How do you react? And to that, I love the way Denny reacted. I absolutely love it. Give him a little pushback. Say you don't play that game. Say I'm going to play that game back with you. And to me, that's all part of the matchup because the playoffs is not about just what happens on the court. You gotta do that. You got to play those games too. So I don't think Castle was out of line. I don't think Denny was out of line. Giving them the offsetting technicals is what it is. And I like that. Now, it's not as cheap as that stupid foul on DeAndre Ayton last night. Like, even Alfred Şengün was like, I didn't think he should have been ejected for that. That's soft.
Yeah, for sure, Chris. And even Chad was saying earlier when a phone caller called in, I thought the technical on Scoot in Game 3 was kind of weak, too, just because he was getting excited and whatnot, too. But, again, I like to see that Denny has some fire. It was really cool to see, like, that back and forth happen. And I know I stood up in my seat in Radio Row, Chris, when I was like, whoa, look what's going down over there, man. A little
so did
spitfire.
I mean, all the media did. We're like, oh, yeah, we'll get a little brouhaha. Let's go.
I love it.
Let's go. I mean, in Minnesota, they got to see Jokic go out there, guy, and the bench is clear for a minute. Let's go. This is the playoffs, baby.
I'm not saying we need to go back to the old days, but it's nice to see a little bit of that, the Jaden McDaniels calling out, the Nuggets for being bad defenders. We're seeing this series, the Lakers and Rockets really don't like each other. We're finding out the Blazers and Spurs have had a little back and forth, even the Thunder and the Suns. And I'm like, it's nice to see these little budding rivalries. And like for this series, like, yeah, you hate the other team. I kind of like that.
Well, yeah. And the thing is too, like what I love about it, it's not one of those big old altercations. It's, there ain't blood and bruises and some stuff that is pretty bad. It's all a little heated, but all good at the end of the day. Now, one of our texters, I feel bad for reading this. Aaron is dirty laundry here. He says, Portland finding a way to lose both games over the weekend is similar to my dating life. Do all the work to get the girl, come away with nothing. LOL. But here's the thing. If your dating life is just like the Blazers, guess what? Or basketball, everyone perseveres eventually. You learn a little bit, then you get better. And then Oklahoma City didn't just show up and win a championship. It took Denver until, 2 seasons ago? Their entire history. No championships. Oh, we got one. You're going to find the girl. You just got to keep playing the game. Got to keep showing up. Got to keep going to practice. Got to keep going to those open gyms. You got to keep going to film study. You got to know what to do.
I'm taking notes, Chris.
Brendan's over here like, I'm single. How do you do it? Here is the secret to it. You find one early in high school like I did, who's way out of your league to begin with, and you swoon her and you take care of her, and then you just keep praying every single day that she doesn't leave you, because if I had to go back on the dating market, I wouldn't know what to do. Is it like swipe left or swipe right? I don't know which one is the appropriate one. Like, what apps are you supposed to use? Oh, I got to go talk to a complete stranger? I'd be lost. If my wife left me tomorrow, I can guarantee you I'm single for the rest of my life, because I wouldn't know what to do. So don't get your dating tips from me, Brendan, okay? My idea about persevering, that's just good common sense.
I'm chuckling up over here, man. If y'all could see even the redness on my face coming over, this is just too funny, man. This is great.
Yeah, that's where we're at. We're just having fun. Also, shout out to Danielle. She's the best. She's the absolute best.
I mean, hey, Chris, if I could, again, if someone wants to roll up in the DeLorean, there's a couple things I'd like to do differently in high school, kind of set things. So I'm amenable. I can be bought. So.
You can be bought.
And DeLorean wants to roll up, maybe I'd study something a little different in college. Maybe I'd just have a couple other traits and some skills.
Oh my gosh, Brendan.
More than just being a sports broadcasting guy.
You're a crack up.
But I love it, man.
Well, just don't do that. Like, that's not your pickup line at the bar. Rachel says dating tips again. What are you talking about again? Just trying to help my man Brendan out here, okay?
Man. He's helping me out. All my free time, I get to go hit up the Sherwood bars, man. Look for Brendan.
Yeah, and then donde está el baño? Again, that's all I know. That's all I know how to say. What is it in that dodgeball? Donde está la biblioteca or whatever, like la escuela. Like, oh my gosh, this is where we're at. We're off the rails. But that's just what we're doing. We're having fun. Because at the end of the day, my friends, dropping those 2 home games, it was a gut punch. Sucks. It's just a ball game. We still get through this together. We still have Rip City. And Rip City's so much bigger than what happens on the court. It's the people in the YouTube chat. It's the people on the phone line. The people in the text lines sending us jokes about their dating life. It's not a joke, man. You're going to get through. As Sue said, eventually you'll find your Damian Lillard, okay? Your superstar, and have some real good times. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, I'm going to tell you, because Brendan's going to help me, is swiping left or swiping right the right way to go? Are we swiping left or right on the Spurs? I don't know. Are they swiping left or right on us? He's going to tell me. We're also going to talk about Game 5 and what the Blazers need to do to hopefully get one more game here back in Moda later this week. This is Courtside Monday on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Courtside Monday. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you'd like to join the conversation, hit us up on the text line 885. Welcome back into Courtside Monday. Chris Burkhardt here with you. What you can also do, if you'd like to join the conversation, find what YouTube tab is playing my my show. There it is. We're off. We're good now, Brendan. I was listening to audio, checking audio, and I just wanted you guys to hear double me. Why not? What an idiot. 503-248-0620 is the telephone number to call to tell me how dumb I am. 88528 is the text line to tell me how bad the audio is. And, of course, you go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there and tell me, hey, Burkhardt, double audio. Sometimes I just make mistakes. But the Blazers still have at least one game left on the schedule, my friends. That is tomorrow. An 8:30 tip, meaning I'll have Blazers game day for you starting at 6:30. What? Is that right? Oh, my gosh. No, excuse me. 8:30 San Antonio time, 6:30 Blazer time, game day at 4:30. See, lots of time, lots of hours. The Blazers.
And we thought an 8 o'clock local
I know. 8:30 local time in San Antonio is brutal. Sean Hyken will be there, so make sure you're following him on social. Hyken. He's not happy about that. He's like, that sucks. That'd be a day where fifth quarter ain't starting until midnight.
Chris, you've seen the national TV spots are like an extra minute and a half longer. So, yeah, it's just.
Oh, my gosh. The TV timeouts have been brutal. But the Blazers will be going in. They have one thing on their mind. Hopefully they do it. Because Herm Edwards, back in the day, he was on to something.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
That's right. It matters. You play to win the game. But also...
That's all I know. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
That's right. Playoffs? Playoffs? A little more action there.
I'd like to see Jim Mora Jr. just repeat that and try to basically be his dad and clone that situation in some way, shape, or form. It's a shame it didn't happen, but I digress.
Yeah, but no, the whole point is hopefully the Blazers can get another win. And like Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game. And that's what the Blazers are going to do tomorrow because it is backs against the wall. It's win or go home. If they lose, then we will be likely talking to you on Wednesday or Thursday after exit interviews. And know full well that there are some of those players in those jerseys that will probably be playing their last game as a Trailblazer because changes will happen. But until that buzzer sounds and San Antonio has more points than the Trailblazers one last time, you're playing to win the game. So if you're the Blazers, you need to come out firing just like you did in Game 4. The only difference between Game 4 and Game 3 and what you need to do in Game 5 is that you need to play 48 minutes like your life depended on it because your basketball life does. If you lose, you don't get back on that court in a Blazer uniform or another NBA uniform until October. You want to try to extend the season. You want to make one more trip back to Moda when no one thought you would. That's what's at hand. And the way to do that, easier said than done, you got to execute. Blazers' execution has been poor. Brendan is in the YouTube chat, still with paradise and vacation on the mind. Just because you're going to Cancun or somewhere equivalent does not mean that the Blazers have to yet.
In all fairness, I was replying to a comment that dropped it first. So just want to throw that out there, Chris.
I know. We're having fun. But the Blazers need to play like that. You don't want to go out just yet. Go out and execute. And what needs to happen is that three-point shot has to fall. And you need more production out of Donovan Clingan and Tumani Kamara. You need everybody to show up. And in this particular scenario, if you're having an off night, I don't care. If you don't have energy, like you saw Shaden Sharp not bring the energy on defense, sub them out. And if Jeremy Grant is playing lazy and Shaden Sharp's playing lazy or anyone else is, put Blake Wesley and Sidi Sissoko in. Because I would rather go out swinging full of energy with a bunch of guys who want to play hard to the end than a bunch of guys mailing it in looking for their next stop. And the guys playing to win, the guys going all out, those are the ones that can help you shock the world. That's what you need to do. Lock in. Get ready to go. Music means it's time to go. Reminder that tomorrow, Blazers game day at 4:30. Game 5 tips off 6:30, and hopefully there's a Game 6 back in Moda on Thursday. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, as always, Rip City, I love you.